يا أيها الذين آمنوا ما لكم إذا قال لكم انفروا في سبيل الله إذ ثقلتم إلى الأرض أردتم بالحياة الدنيا من الآخرة فما متع الحياة دنيا في الآخرة إلا قلال. O you who have believed, what is the matter with you that, when you are told to go forth in the cause of Allah, you cling heavily to the earth? Do you prefer the life of this world over the hereafter? But what is the enjoyment of worldly life compared to the hereafter, except a little? Did you know that most war and battle verses come from Surah At-Tawbah? Surah At-Tawbah, Surah 9 of the Quran, is unique because it is the only chapter in the Quran that does not begin with Bismillahi ar-Rahmani ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, the surah opens with Bara'atun mina Allahi wa Rasulihi, a declaration of disassociation from Allah and His Messenger. Quran 9:1, a stern statement from God. This surah is not a prayerful or gentle introduction, but a stern proclamation of warning to the pagans of Makkah, especially those who repeatedly broke treaties with the Muslims. And the Battle of Mutah started all because of the brutal execution of al-Harith ibn Umayr, a messenger carrying a message of peace across the desert sands. A letter from the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, inviting the ruler of Busra to Islam. He was captured and killed, executed by Shurahbil ibn Amr, a Byzantine vassal. In the ancient codes of Arabia and by divine law, the murder of an envoy was an act of war. And so the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, did not remain silent. He did not seek revenge, but justice. This was not conquest, this was principle. He assembled an army of 3,000, a force small in number, but vast in spirit. He placed the banner in the hands of a man he trusted like no other, Zayd ibn Harithah, R.A., his adopted son. And should he fall, Ja'far ibn Abi Talib, R.A., would take command. If Ja'far fell, then Abdullah ibn Rawahah, R.A. A chain of command not made of rank, but of faith. They marched to Mutah, near the edges of modern-day Jordan. What awaited them there was a storm. The Muslims stood before an army that outnumbered them by tens of thousands, Byzantine soldiers backed by their Arab Christian allies, the Ghassanids. It was not a battle, it was a test. Zayd ibn Harithah, R.A., rode at the front, cloaked in dust, wielding the banner with fire in his heart. The clash was thunderous. Blades shrieked, horses screamed. Zayd pressed forward, carving through enemy lines until he was pierced by spears, still holding the flag. He fell not with fear, but with glory. His blood, like ink, wrote his name among the martyrs. Then came Ja'far ibn Abi Talib, R.A., the Prophet's cousin, the man who once spoke to the king of Abyssinia on behalf of Islam. Now he spoke with his sword. In a moment of fierce truth, his right arm was severed. He took the flag with his left. That too was cut. And then, with nothing left but the stumps of his arms, he clutched the banner to his chest. 90 wounds were counted on his body. 90. And yet the banner never touched the earth. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, would later say, I saw Ja'far flying in paradise with wings in place of his arms. And now, with blood thick on the field, stepped forward the poet-warrior, Abdullah ibn Rawahah, R.A. His heart trembled, not from fear of the enemy, but from doubt within. And so he spoke, first to himself, O soul, death is but a destiny you run toward, so rise and meet it proud. If you are slain, you are victorious. With that, he surged into the fray, turning poetry into action. Sword met flesh, and then silence. He too fell. 3 commanders, 3 martyrs. The army stood leaderless. Then rose a man who, just months earlier, had fought against Islam. A man new to faith, but ancient in strategy. Khalid ibn al-Walid, R.A. He took command. He did not panic. He maneuvered. He confused the enemy with feints, rotated his flanks to appear reinforced, and pulled the army out with such brilliance that the enemy believed the Muslims had reinforcements. That day, he earned the title Saifullah, the sword of Allah, from the lips of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, himself. The army returned. Some in Medina misunderstood. They thought it a retreat, but the Prophet, peace be upon him, corrected them. He said, "No, they are not retreating, they are advancing, by the will of Allah." Mutah was more than a battle. It was the Muslims' first clash with Byzantium. It was the birth of Khalid's legend. It was where poetry bled into steel, where angels watched as the banner of Islam refused to fall.